It's location planning, right? We have discussed about globalizations. What's the influence of globalization on our location planning? Well, definitely one influence that we have more choices now, right? Instead of just focus on domestic options, so we can go to almost any country to do our business, choose our supplier, to expand our markets. Well, there are advantage and disadvantage of global location were also discussed. So risk, right? We have talked about obviously benefits and obviously disadvantage, but risk means that it's not necessarily the disadvantage, but that something is hard to control. Right? If you have some global location for a company, you have to face the foreign country or foreign regions political instability and unrest. Terrorism is a big problem nowadays, especially for lots of Western countries. Economic instability, even that country is very stable. In political parts, but economic parts, not necessary. Currency change, something like that. Legal regulation. Okay. Why legal regulation can be a risk? What do you think? Why legal regulation, when you go to a foreign country to do a business, is a risk?
Maybe if, for instance, you sell alcohol products, legal regulation basically states that you can't sell alcohol in that country.
Definitely. Several countries, like many Muslim countries, right? They ban the alcohol, right? And I don't know, maybe some religion country with very strong religion belief. Yeah, it's not just alcohol, all different kinds. Another thing I want you to think about, even that you know, okay, that country has this regulation now. You enter this market, you open the sites, no problem now. Doesn't mean there won't be any problem in the future. For example, the regulation about the environment, they probably like set this very low standard at the beginning, but after 3 or 5 years, they make it stricter. And then, how can you deal with your chemical plants? It's really hard, right? So also like minimum wage of labor. Usually we go outsourcing or go globally, we see, okay, the labor cost is cheaper. But what if that country increase the bar of minimum wage? Okay, then it will also affect with a risk. Definitely it can be also potential opportunity, right? It's lose the regulation or promote something. Ethical considerations. So first we should know that, okay, ethics is not like law or regulation. So, and also every country has very different definition on ethics. Well, for many countries, especially in developed countries, we make a point with them, say, okay, we'll meet on 2 p.m. Well, if they are late less than half an hour, for many countries, they're totally ethical. Nothing to complain. But here, probably, right, especially if you're a doctor, well, definitely not ethical to do that, or not polite, not appropriate to do that. But that is ethical, it's different. It's really different. So when you consider for your management, well, it's definitely create some problem for you. Right? Cultural difference. Why cultural difference can be a risk? Any example, like cultural difference? Like a risk?
People may have different beliefs about anything from religion to anything else, and how you manage the facility, because sometimes the religious beliefs may not allow it, or they want to, like in Muslim countries, they'll stop for prayer multiple times during the day. You have to understand that.
Yeah, definitely. This is a cultural difference, right? And some other difference is not about religion, or even that's, for example, communication. But their communication habits are different, right? In US, we want everybody in the same level, right? You can speak to, if you meet your CEO in the cafe, you can talk with your CEO and talk about, okay, what I'm doing, what I see any problem. But in some countries, there are different culture. Rings?
Oh, well, I just want to add, like, sometimes you have to change your product to fit that culture. Like in Malaysia, I heard that, like McDonald's, like they created like this special rice burger because like rice is such a staple of their diet in that country.
McDonald's has rice burger. Do you guys want to try? No.
Yeah, it's like the buns made of rice instead of bread. Like.
Okay, next time you go to China, you will be amazing. Just go to China, go to McDonald's, KFC. First, well, very interesting. KFC is not the top fast food restaurant in the US. Do you agree with me? I think so, right? It's like Burger King, McDonald's, and it was Wendy's. What else? Taco Bell. I think all that are performing better than KFC, right? In US. But KFC is extremely successful in China. That's two major reasons. Okay, that's several reasons, other reasons. One is they enter even earlier than McDonald's. They are like first major fast food chain enter China, early 1980. When you think about early 1980, there's all the risk you can talk about China, maybe except terrorism, like political instability at that time, or just have this open door policy. Like economic instability for sure, right? Economic was very, very bad. Like legal regulation problems, ethical consideration category. That's Burger King, KFC make the first move, has the advantage, enter China first, even before McDonald's. Okay, McDonald's later enter. Well, usually if McDonald's enter this market, usually they will dominate because the money they have, the culture, the experience, they expand globally, they are very successful in Europe and other countries. But KFC is still performing good. It's the head-to-head competitor to McDonald's, even until now. One important reason, like Rins has talked about, is the localization. KFC did what? If you go to KFC in China, you won't, except you see the brand name KFC, you have no way, if somebody cover your eyes under this restaurant, no one you can tell it's KFC. Or you still have fried chicken. That's probably the only thing why it's the same one. But they have soup, they have rice, they have noodle, they have all like Chinese food. Right? Even their burger, like Rins mentioned, right? Burger. I seldom went to KFC and McDonald's back in China. I'm a really Asian guy, so I really like Asian food. But my wife, she's different. Maybe her major is English. That's the reason she really like U.S. fast food. Not here. Here we seldom go to McDonald's. But she went to McDonald's, Burger King very often. She told me like late 1990. Okay, they already have a lot of rice products in McDonald's and Burger King. It's not new. It's not new. But think about why they had to do that. Well, McDonald's didn't do that, but they see KFC is extremely successful when they do the localization. So you have to understand the culture. So not like, okay, you avoid something. You can avoid, okay, beef. Okay, nobody eats beef here, or alcohol. But you avoid something can only cost your profit. You should expand your menu, your product to fit their culture, fit their preference. There are a lot of opportunities. You think about, well, if some menu are extremely successful, you can bring back to US. Who knows, right? In California, so many Asian people, they may like that, right? But if you just stick to your menu, stick to your product, and go globally, you probably will face a lot of problems. Okay, that's a thing we should mention. Well, I really like this KFC's example is because only after they came to US, it's a culture shock for me. I know KFC is the Kentucky Fried Chicken. I know that. I know this like all the grandpa, right? That's face. Everybody know that. Well, back in China, know a lot of countries. But I think okay. I heard KFC, McDonald's all the time. I'm not a big fan of either of them. I think okay, they are very similar. And then came to US, no, they are like positioned here and here. Right? But you can see, KFC, China's KFC creates much more profits than KFC United States size. Much more. It's reasonable. First, China has more population, and KFC is almost number one in China in fast food. And you can expect, right? So KFC puts more and more efforts on China instead of US. In fact, if you see the past 10 years, KFC doesn't care too much about the growth of US market because they want to keep the trend in China. McDonald's is different, definitely, because they have so many important markets, okay, beside China. US definitely is, right? One of the most important hometown. Europe, McDonald's is very, very popular in Europe. Very, very popular. Have you guys ever traveled to Europe? No? You? Okay. Do you guys know which brand is also very popular in Europe? It's not KFC. US fast food.
Burger King.
Yes, Burger King. Burger King is, I find in Italy and Spain at least, it's a little bit more, like, I feel like McDonald's is number 2 in China, and McDonald's is also number 2 in Europe. But McDonald's, if they are all number 2 in all the world, they are number 1. Because no other country come like number 1 in every continent or every country. But I see more Burger King than McDonald's, even than McDonald's in Europe. But I find Burger King in Europe I like is much better than here. I didn't taste Burger King back to China. But here I went to Burger King like at most 3 times. Well, they just, for me, I'm not a burger person. Right? They only, well, but I can't say they only have burger, but they are, right, major price burgers. And when my daughter would travel to Europe, my daughter really like Burger King's fried chicken wings. Fried small, like little chicken wings fried. She can eat like 10 chicken wings. Because she was only 2 years old. It's really hard for her first travel to the country beside the US and China. And then she preferred Chinese food. Well, there's no way in Europe we can provide Chinese food every day, right, in the place. She really liked Burger King fried chicken wings. So I came back to US. Let's try the face of Burger King. Let's see we can find the chicken wings for you. And then we went to that Burger King. Do you have chicken wings? No. I don't think. I think most places in USA probably they don't have chicken wings. Burger King. But if you think about, if this product is extremely popular in Europe, when I see that in Burger King in Europe, so many kids, especially kids, you know, that they like the fried chicken wings. But Burger King can also bring this brand or this menu back to US. It can be a success. But if you don't go overseas, if you don't go localizational, then you lose the opportunity. So my view is cultural difference can be a disadvantage for you, but it can be an advantage. Think about it, especially nowadays. Especially if we focus on US market changed dramatically in the past 20 years, right? Because the demographic change. Right? You think about like 30 years ago, I'm not sure, maybe Alan can tell me, like probably like Caucasian or white people counts for like 70%, something like that, right? Even more, right? But if you look at 2050, or at least 2050, most of you guys are still working, or still that's age. And the whites or Caucasian population will count less than 50% at that time. So you think about when the demographic change, like we have more Hispanic people, right? Like African American probably is pretty stable, the percentage. More Asian people. That means even you continue to the business in the United States, you have to change. You have to adapt a different culture. That's in this nation, grow up in this nation. It's not from foreign country. So you think about if you go globally, it can bring something. You prepare, you go like, for example, you do the business in Mexico. Then you can prepare the population increase in your Hispanic population increase in your region to do a business. Right? You know their culture, already know that, right? So that's my idea, right? So cultural difference can create problem for you, but it can also create competitive advantage for you if you really understand them. How do you manage the global operation? Language. How can we conquer this language difference? How should we do? Should we try to do something for this language difference? Nothing we can do? We can do what?
Well, if you're working with somebody else that doesn't even like speak English, there's always translators.
Translator for sure.
Yeah.
Dylan?
Technology that's coming out nowadays can easily translate via voice or via
Yes.
text.
Yeah. Right. Google, Apple, Siri, or Google Assistant, and Alexa, or the Amazon's new product, they can also. But they are not perfect. If you have heavy accents, even like southern accent, probably they have problem to identify what you are talking about. Like our professor, like definitely local person. Well, he talks so fast, he say, okay, they can't identify what he's talking about. So that's still limited. But one suggestion definitely learn the second language. Yourself, your partner. Okay. They should learn, at least have basic communication. Like my mom, she's 6'5". I just called her this morning. She's speaking in the like how do you say? China has like a college for older people, retired people. She began to learn English when she's 65 years old. But she complained a lot. She said, "Oh, I'm just copying ABCD and good morning, good afternoon, good evening." I say just keep doing that. You will enjoy later. Oh, and now it's very painful for learning foreign language, right? I don't know, do you want to learn Chinese? I can teach you, but it's definitely in that age it's very, very painful. Even you guys, like 20 years old, it's still very painful to learn the language. But once you know a little bit, you will enjoy a lot. Okay, culture different. We'll talk a lot. Risk of miscommunication. Miscommunication not necessarily because of language, right? It can be because of culture, right? For example, many people you ask, okay, is fine for you this solution, this method? Well, many people say fine or okay. Doesn't mean they really like your idea, right? You say okay. Different people usually say we say okay. What does okay mean? Right? There's different people have different understanding of okay, right? Especially in some like pretty conservative country, they try to say okay to everybody, and they have very strong personal opinion hide here. Right? So development of trust is extremely hard, but some companies did very good. For example, Apple. Apple's biggest supplier called Foxconn is a Taiwan or Chinese company. Right? They produce all iPhone. If you see the iPhone, that's almost like 90% of iPhone produced by Foxconn. Right? They have this very stable, like partnership for more than 10 years. More than 10, very trust. Apple really trust them. They trust Apple. Right? That just become a win-win situation. But it's hard to develop in the beginning. Management style. Okay. What is our U.S. management style? What do you think? What is our typical management style? For U.S.
Kind of pyramid structure works its way down.
Okay, from like C level until lower level. Yes. Anything else you observe? U.S. management style? No style? We don't have any style?
Well, there's some, well, you know, I mean, kind of differs between managers, but, you know, some managers are, like, autocratic, you know, they just want to,
Yes.
yeah, they don't want to hear anyone else's
Complain.
opinions, you know.
But it is more like developing country. I would think about U.S. is a little bit free. But well, what's the difference between U.S. and Europe? Europe probably more like freestyle, more freestyle. Right? I'm talking about like West Europe, right? East Europe is different, right? But if you go to developing country, even like no developing, well, sometimes I don't like to say developing country because that can be biased. You think about, for example, I give you a very good example is that East Asian, right? China, Korea, and Japan. Well, their economic level is very different. Especially think about 20 years ago, China at that time was very, very poor 20 years ago. Well, Japan is already like the number 2 in the world at that time, right? Everybody know Honda, Toyota. Korea at that time is probably like middle, right? So it's between developing and developed countries. Nowadays, these 3 countries gap is smaller because China developed so fast. But think about 20 years ago, they are very different, 3 countries. But if you see their culture, the management style, very similar, very similar. Very strict hierarchy. You have to respect to your supervisor. Okay, you don't want to talk direct to the supervisor. You don't want to do that. It's not a problem in many cases. So you should let your supervisor report for you. That's the idea of this really strict hierarchy, right? And a lot of things like try to say okay to everyone, right? Don't show your personal in the discussion. Try to make agreements even you don't agree with that. Right? So that's culture. You can think about it. Sometimes it's related to the economical development level. Sometimes it's not really. It can be a religion. It can be the regional culture. So that we need to understand. Corruption and bribery. I think you guys don't want to touch this field. You definitely don't want to touch this field. Unfortunately, many companies, even Fortune 500 level companies, when they go overseas, they try really hard for localization. They localize to this way, right? Corruption and bribery. Yeah, I don't know how to tell my students how to avoid that because, like, my home country, China, has a serious problem on this corruption and bribery, right? Especially like 10 years ago when I came to US. Well, I heard that I took the train every year from my college back to home, right? I took the train. Well, when I took the train, I talk with different people, different backgrounds. Some people do some business, for example, they sell the whiteboard to the schools. Some people sell shoes. Some people sell something to governments. Once the business have to deal with government, almost everybody told me, right? I really like to talk with people. I don't know what you are doing. Okay, I'm just a student, but I want to know. Oh, so, for example, sell the whiteboard or blackboard to the school. They have to give money to the government level people. Because the people in education department, they try that, okay, they decide, okay, choose this one to this school area, that's one to. Well, you can't tell too much different on the quality. Maybe you can tell a little bit, but it's not a big concern. Shoes, the same. Okay, they have to deal with that 10 years ago. Well, if you are a very honest person, follow the U.S. exit code, frankly speaking, it's really hard 10 years ago when you are doing business very well in China, especially you want to deal with governments. Those fast food, probably that's no problem. Now it's much better, but think about, okay, many countries still that level, have very bad corruption and bribery. But you have to take care of yourself. If you send overseas, your boss wants you to give money to their local people, you should have concern. You should worry about yourself. Usually, for most countries, it's illegal. Even people do that all the time, but it's still illegal. Once it happens, okay, you have to take the responsibility. Increased travel costs, challenging with managing far-flung operation, technology and resistant to technology change. Have you seen that one? Resistant of technology change? Have you guys seen that? Probably not, because you guys are too young. Well, I have seen a lot. Many companies, even big companies, many people, they are resistant for change, especially technology. They say, okay, we use this system 10 years, it's perfect. Why we need to upgrade? Why need to change your new system? Okay, how much it can improve? Okay, we will waste a lot of time to train people, to learn people. Many people will quit. You heard about a lot of things about that. But think about that. If we don't change, we don't upgrade, how can you compete globally or even locally? Domestic personnel like you guys may resist relocation, even temporary. How many of you raise your hand if you don't want to work in any foreign country, no matter which country? Any country, raise your hand if you don't want to. You just want to work in US. Raise? Surprise! Because I know you like Japanese, like comics, like something like that. Yeah. But you don't want to work for Japan for like 1 year?
Well, I don't know. It's just like I don't want to have to learn like a new culture, a new language, and all that.
Okay. Well, I understand, right? Only means?
I think it just depends on the location.
Yeah, definitely.
And the job.
Yeah, I say any country. So
Yeah.
unless the job salary is very similar to here, but you have to relocate to that country for like 1 year. Right?
It just depends.
So it really depends, right? I think most of you guys, my understanding, maybe Spires, probably has little problem to relocate to a native English-speaking country like Britain, Canada, Australia, New Zealand. Right? Probably it's fine. Another bias guess is that many of you may have no problem to relocate temporarily to a Western European country like Germany, France, Spain, Italy. Agree? Or different opinion? But then let's push a little bit. Okay. Eastern Europe. Raise your hand if you feel not preferable to relocate to Eastern Europe even 1 year. You're fine? Okay, everybody's fine. Let's go a little bit further, right? East Asia. China, Korea, Japan. Problem? Actually, some people should raise your hand now, right?
Problem with North Korea.
Not well, you don't have a
Fine with
chance.
South Korea.
You are a citizen. You don't have a chance. I have a chance. In fact, because I'm still a Chinese citizen. Theoretically speaking, I can apply the tourist visa to North Korea. But I think it's really hard because I'm living in US for so many years. Definitely, they will think about I can be a spy. So, but yeah. But one thing I think I'm better than you guys. I can travel to Cuba, no problem, as a Chinese citizen. That's no problem to apply the visa card. But North Korea, even you are a Chinese citizen, it's extremely hard to get the visa to travel to North Korea nowadays. In the past 3 years, we know that's the reason. China doesn't have the good relationship with North Korea anymore. Right? It's not suddenly. It's not like past half a year. I can tell you in the past 10 years, it's become this way. But anyway, yeah, still some people travel to North Korea. It's very interesting. Do you guys want to hear about something about North Korea? It's a very hot topic. So yeah, we are not talking about nuclear power. We just talk about regular people travel to North Korea. It's not doing spy or just go to a foreign country. So every year or every month, China has several different tourist groups. You have to travel by group. You can't travel individually. They don't give you individual traveling visa. So you have to attend the group and travel to North Korea. Even you are Chinese citizen, I think Russia can do that. They only open to very limited country. Definitely, most Western countries, I believe, no way to apply the visa. Okay, so you have to attend the group, join the group to go to North Korea. It's very interesting. Everything is monitored. Everything. The first day you go to North Korea, they collect your cell phone. You can go back to China if you say, oh, this is my privacy, right? They collect your cell phone. Okay, that's not the worst thing, right? Cell phone, okay, it's okay. We can still look at some place, talk with people. Well, it's very interesting, right? Most likely, any place in North Korea you go is predetermined. You can't go to some place, you say, I want to go to a small village to look at what people eat. There's no way you can do that. All the things, all the building, all the place you visit are the most beautiful parts of this country. Or they think it's the most beautiful parts. Right? This is not the most hierarchical. Hierarchical is that one. The people you are talking about. The people you are talking about, most ordinary people. They arrange the people. Some people observe, they say, okay, we walk in the streets. Oh, you think we walk on the street, then you have to talk about random people. And they see some people go this way, go back, go this way, go back. So like actors, actresses, like 100 people just do that. Randomly, oh, and then you want to talk with me, yeah, we are very good. So the point is that the problem is you will get limited information. You probably only see, okay, that's some building, some culture of this, okay, like history of this country. But it's extremely hard, even that you travel to North Korea, extremely hard to know the ordinary people's life in North Korea. Extremely hard. So I think there's not too much point to travel to, except you want to enjoy that a group, okay, tourism like 2 weeks without cell phone, right? That's it. Otherwise, yeah. But so anyway, so relocation can be a problem, right? For example, Africa. I think many of you probably has hesitated to relocate to Africa for 1 year. Most countries in Africa, right? For example, Middle East, well, definitely, even as military people, they don't want to deploy to Middle East nowadays, right? So that's my point is here. Don't feel shame or embarrassing. Say I don't want to go globally. Well, I think even after 100 years later, we still have a lot of people. Every people should have the preference. You guys, most of you guys, grow up here, grow up in the United States. Even it's a pretty diversified country. I think it's very reasonable. You don't want to go to some country or even all foreign country. How can we blame on that? We can't say globalization is trend, so everybody has to be open-minded on that level. Can be relocated to any place. I think it's totally wrong theory. I'm a pretty open person, but I don't expect everybody to be there. It's unfair because we have preference. I feel comfortable in China or US, but if you ask me to move to Africa, I don't know. I mean, I don't speak French, so I don't know how can I survive or live very good. Well, it's totally reasonable. I mean, that's my suggestion. But unfortunately or fortunately, with the globalization, there's a lot of opportunity if you can go overseas temporarily. Or even you can choose which country or which parts of continent you want to go. But I hope you guys can be a little bit open mind, like English-speaking country or country that have a very stable, political stable, very safe, right? You want you guys to be open mind to go to that country, expose to different culture, and it's also very beneficial for your career growth, right? General procedure for location decision, we have to decide criteria, identify important factors such as whether you want to close to markets or close to raw material. And then 4 levels to identify. First is the country level. Okay. Then if you say we want to do the business in the United States, then region level. We have like West, Middle East, Northeast, and Southern, right? That's 4 regions for the United States. And then identify small number of community alternative, like different small city, Lumberton versus Pembroke. Once even you decide you want to do the business in Pembroke, finally identify the sites in Pembroke, right, to open your new Walmart, let's say. And then finally evaluate them and make a decision. Well, country level, okay, there's a lot of things to talk about. We have already the government, what is stable, unstable, corruption level of this government, culture difference. If an English-speaking country, probably the culture is very similar. Customer preference that can be very different. While you are very good at making burger, but that country burger is not so popular. Right? labor, okay, the two concerns, right? Is the first labor cost, the second is the quality. Resource, okay, if you are doing the manufacturing, whether this country can provide the raw material. Financial problems like tax benefits, okay, inflation, and also interest rates, currency change. Technology, for example, internet, right, where they have high-speed internet. Markets, safety. Right. Safety, I believe safety should be a big concern, especially when you personally want to relocate to some other country. I can tell you one thing, proudly to tell you that is East Asian country, China, Korea, and Japan has the lowest murder rates in the world. Lowest. I think Japan is the lowest. China can't compete with Japan. I traveled to Japan twice. I think no country can compete with Japan to follow the rules. Like this in their gene already. Everybody follow the rules. Everybody follow. I think in Japan I heard about that policemen don't carry gun. That policemen don't have gun. I'm an entry-level policeman. Many policemen just ride a bike to chase like people pick your wallets or some bad kids, okay, kick out of your garage door, something like that. Use a ride, maybe some, I don't know, life. That's only they think have chase. Can you do that here? I don't think anybody can do that, right? But safety is a big concern, right? Definitely, U.S. It's not the worst, but we can't say we perform very good. But if you go to like East Asian or some other region, okay, and some other country, you probably will enjoy that. I heard about, especially some female foreigners working in China. They are amazed, female. They say, okay, in United States or in Europe, there are no way they can walk on the streets on 11 p.m. By themselves. In China, everybody did that. Everybody did that. 11 p.m., no problem. Even 2 a.m. Well, I sometimes in China I want to find something to eat in 2 a.m. because China, big city, has a culture. That's why people eat after the midnight, drink a beer, not because of some football. Sometimes like World Cup, we know that everybody go to bar to watch the game. But it's just the culture, right? People, they want to, in the weekend, they'll hang out together after kids go to bed, 11 o'clock, we go out in the summer, outdoor to eat, to have fun. But in the United States, you don't want to do that. You can try, but it's pretty dangerous. So safety can be a benefit. My point is that everything you think about, it can be a benefit for you. But also, on the other hand, for many countries, much worse for their safety requirement than US. So then you should have a big concern. Region level. Okay, let's say you want to do the business in the United States. Okay, then we consider there's 4 regions, right? West, Middle East, Northeast, and South. We have to consider these 2 important factors: raw material and market. If you're doing manufacturing, right? If West Coast has raw material, Rocky Mountain has the specific material you need, then you should be very close to the Rocky Mountain, right? Not the East Coast. Right? On the other hand, if you are doing the retailing store, right, this business, where is your customers? If your customer in North Carolina, you shouldn't go too far away, right? So, labor factors, right? A lot of things, and the climate, right? Like Minnesota definitely have problem on climate, right? Especially in the winter. My personal feeling is that I live in Minnesota before, so. Okay, and then community level, similar factors like quality of life, attitude tax, environmental regulation, support. And the size you can consider land, the quality of land if you want to have a high building, and transportation, whether it's close to I-95 or not, zoning, other restrictions. Okay, next we'll talk about the multiple plants manufacturing strategy. So usually they have 2 strategies: product plant strategy. So Intel products or production lines are produced in separate plants, and each plant usually supply the Intel domestic market. So what does this mean? That means, okay, if we have 3 plants, right? We have 3 plants. So like plant 1 handle products A and B, and the plant 2 handle products C, and 3 handle products D and E. And then if you produce A and B in plant 1, you satisfy the demand of the country. right? Even globally. Similar here, you satisfy the demand of the country. So that means one product is only produced in one size, but satisfy the demand of the country. Market area strategy is different. So the plans designed to satisfy the local or regional customer. That means, okay, each plant will produce all the products or most of the products, at least if they are sold in this region, like A, B, C, D, E. You produce all the products, but your customer are only in like North and South Carolina. You don't care about the customer order from like Tennessee. They have some other plan to satisfy. So these are two different strategies. This is the location decision. But it really depends on your company. You think about, for the first one, plant strategy. If the manufacturing process is very complex, you don't want every plant to handle this product because it can be very expensive or hard to find expertise. And you want to do that in one site, and then you sacrifice a little bit higher transportation cost. But if the product is easy to handle, okay, it's no problem to handle the diversity of this product, then the second strategy, market area plant strategy, can save you a lot on the transportation costs. That's to take into consideration. Process plant strategy. Different plants focus on different aspects. For example, produce just engine plants, body stem plants, and like tile, okay, and then finally combine them together. Another type is general purpose plants is produced from beginning until the end. Now it's pretty rare. Like one manufacturing site can produce from raw material until the final products. It's pretty rare. GIS, Geographic Information System, is widely used to help us to make the location decision. Right? Target markets and identify location, plan our distribution network. For the service and the retailer stores, okay, we have to be very close to the customer. No necessary to be close to raw material because we face customer. Right? Tend to be profit or revenue driven. Okay, you have to consider demographic information, competition, traffic volume pattern, and convenience, and clustering. Okay, first let's talk about these some factors. When you open a retailer store, why we need to consider demographics? Anybody? Demographics. Even?
Maybe the style or what kind of clothes they might need to wear, such as is it a warm temperature climate, is it a cold temperature climate, etc.
Okay. But demographic is more about like the population, like component, different race, different gender, different age. Right? Well, let's give you an example. Right? Okay, my example, my personal experience. You think about, or in North Carolina, Rowan County is pretty poor in North Carolina, even in North Carolina. But Moore County is pretty decent. Do you know Moore County? That is in Sand Hills area, Pinehurst, Southern Pine, Aberdeen, right? Well, if you look at the area income level, like Pinehurst, let's say Pinehurst is much higher than here, or even than Fayetteville, much higher than Fayetteville, that's the city I'm living now. And then if you just look at that, you can look at like habits, traffic is not bad, very convenient. And you say, I want to open a retailer store in Pinehurst, right, do our business. Like, for example, sports, right? For sports products. Can you be successful in Pinehurst? Nobody know where is Pinehurst?
You can if you sell golf equipment.
Yeah, yes, golf probably, yeah, they're very famous. But think about demographic information, Pinehurst.
Mostly older people.
Yes. Do you know the average age of Pinehurst residents? 60.
60.
Average age is 60. They're very rich. In Pinehurst, I saw so many Ferraris. I see like people 70 years old drive a convertible Ferrari, go to the post office with me. So I don't know. I mean, even you drive a Ferrari, still have to send mail, right? But I see several Ferrari, no matter like Lamborghini, that in Pinehurst. Well, I met with like people in some local festival. I talked with them. You know, most people retail in Pinehurst are not from North Carolina. Many of them are from New England. You know, that's like old money, Boston, New York, right? When I told them I relocated to Connecticut, many people say, I'm so familiar with Connecticut, in Pinehurst. Well, they live in that region. But you open a retailer store, selling the products related to sports, you people with like 2 Ferraris, right? 70 years old, maybe only golf, right? Maybe only golf, but soccer, baseball, basketball, football, you can mention that. Right, swimming doesn't matter. But that's the problem. That's the problem. It's for your business first of all, so you should think about when you do the relocation. Well, when I first moved to North Carolina back to 2012, except over here, so I first came to University of Pampa. I do my research and travel locally. Basically, it's like Fayetteville and Southern Pines area to choose which location to live. How many of you live in Fayetteville? Anybody here? Nobody live in Fayetteville? Nobody live in Sunny Hills, so you are not familiar with both these 2 regions. So when you look at online in Fayetteville, the crime rate is a really big problem. If you look at the paper-based, it's very bad. It's very bad. I used to live in the worst town in Connecticut. It's called Bridgeport. You can search Bridgeport, Connecticut. You will see lots of language comment, a lot, huge. Well, I play soccer with like the Chinese student in Universal Bridgeport every weekend. Well, sometimes we begin the soccer game like this. Hey, you heard about that? Yesterday, a guy walked in front of the library, got shot. That's Universal Bridgeport. Okay, you can understand that's what's the town like, right? Well, the people shot with policemen in front of that library, like 10 minutes. So that's how I live. So I really want to avoid this kind of town. Well, I relocate to North Carolina. I think it's very well. Another thing is that when I live in Bridgeport in a apartment, that's Chinese restaurants like only 20 yards away from me. I usually go to that to pick up my dinner and go back home to eat. And then one evening, some people rob this Chinese restaurant. And you know the boss is a Chinese person. This robber is very unlucky because the boss really want to become police from the kids, but the parents say you have to do the Chinese restaurant, so he has to do that because he practices shooting every day. So he just shoots this robber. 2 robbers, 1 robber died. But all the policemen are 20 yards away from my apartment. Well, that's horrible, right? That's really horrible. So when my wife come to Connecticut, we relocate to another town. But you have to think about demographic. Fayetteville at that time we think okay it's not safe, and then finally I choose Pinehurst. But Pinehurst has a problem. Well, only you do the business, right? You can't sell the sports or some. Halloween. We'll have Halloween very soon, right? You guys enjoying Halloween when you are kids? You guys enjoying Halloween? Do you still go trick or treat now? You are too young to go to trick or treat? Or too young? All right. Do you play tricks for the kids or scaring them? No. You did that? But in Pinehurst, the first year we were in Pinehurst, my daughter was 1 year old. So let's do trick or treat. I went to Walmart, buy a lot of candy. The first time in the United States I do the trick or treat. Because usually I live in the apartment back to university, nobody knock my door because they know I'm a very poor PhD student, so right? No candy. So I prepare a lot. I wait in my house for 2 hours, trick or treat nights, right? Because my daughter is young, 1 year old, right? We can't take her to get some candy. Only one family with us. 1. I said, take a lot. They take a lot, but still, most are left there, candy. When I relocate to Fayetteville the first year, we prepare not enough. And then we have to close the door because it's gone, like half an hour, all the candy are gone. And so the next year we learn the lesson, we prepare a lot. Why? Because in Pinehurst, there's very, very few young people. That is really hard for you to find kids. Right, for example, I took my daughter to walk in the winter time every day, like 10 a.m., walking on the streets. The people are so nice. Retail people say hi to me. Oh, your daughter is so adorable. And then finally they come to the final question and ask, okay, are you also retired? Okay. But that's a good question. I told them, okay, well, one plumber do the same thing. One plumber come to my home. Because I'm a faculty, so I have a lot of time at home, right? And I do the plumbing job. And then she said, oh, do you retire? finally I told him I'm a house husband and forget about that question. I explain I'm lost with I'm just a house husband to take care of the baby and also treat the plumbers or do whatever in my house, right? Rental house. But people just keep asking me, are you retail? I told them I really want to retail when I'm only 35 years old, but I can't, right? I don't have enough money to retail. So anyway, so after 2 years, I think, okay, especially my wife, there's no more in Pinehurst. No targets. Pinehurst is Pinehurst, Southern Pine, there's so many rich people, but they don't have targets or malls because the population is there and also the age, right? Most people go to Belk. It's not fit us still, but anyway. So we have to relocate to Fayetteville. Definitely we choose a good region, sub-region of Fayetteville. It's pretty safe. We can't say as safe as Pinehurst, but we enjoy a lot. Like a lot of activity for kids. Definitely they enjoy trick or treat. I have to spend more money to prepare candy, but no complaint, right? But you should think about, look at demographic, it's very useful. If you just look at income level, even like crime rates, Pinehurst is one of the safest places in the United States. Pinehurst in the 10 years, only one murder. I search on 10 years. The whole city, only one murder. One rape, 10 years. Only 2 cases. Well, you most years, they're 0. They have some thefts, some tiny things, right? 10 years, nothing happened. So bad, if you do the business, well, it's really depends. If you do golf, it's fine. If you sell Ferrari, probably you can get some good deal. But, yeah, but for other sports or like candy or kids club, that's not. Okay, Michael told me only one student contacted him, and also only Reese come to my office for your homework questions. I hope you guys don't have any problem. But if you have problem, contact us immediately. Right? Next month, you don't want to wait until Tuesday or even Wednesday morning. That's me on that. Everybody, enjoy your weekend.
Probably here on Monday, my weekend, when I work, like I said before, so this weekend. Yeah.
That's definitely